That day was one of the most exciting shooting days of the entire Fated Hearts drama project. I could still feel the atmosphere in the location being warm, boisterous, but inexplicably full of sweet vibes, and it was all centered on two people, Chen and Chen Zhe Yuan. As one of the camera crew that's been following them since the beginning of production, I've gotten used to the professional closeness between the cast. But that day was different. There was something between Chen and Chen Zhe Yuan that couldn't be explained in words, softer, livelier, and to be honest, a bit tempting. That morning, the set was in a classic park with a small lake and willows dangling towards the water. Sunlight breaks through gently, creating beautiful shadows that bounce on the faces of the players. Chen came in wearing a soft cream-colored dress. Her hair was natural, without much polish, but instead looked very dazzling. Chen Zhe Yuan was already at the location first. He sat in the director's chair while rereading the script, looking calm and focused. But as soon as Chen came over, I noticed a small change on his face. He immediately straightened up, closed the script, and looked at Chen with a small smile that could barely be hidden. "Morning, Zhe Yuan," Chen said as he leaned in slightly, his voice soft but with a seductive tone that made some of the crew look at each other and smile. Chen Zhe Yuan replied politely, but his face turned slightly red. "Morning too. Today you came earlier than usual." Chen chuckled a little, then replied, "I just don't want you to get tired of waiting for me. You're lonely." Everyone around them laughed quietly. I got down so as not to look amused. But the most interesting thing was not the words, but rather their expressions. Chen with a look full of playfulness, and Chen Zhe Yuan with a shy smile that was definitely not acting. The director finally called them for a scene briefing. That day they will shoot a romantic scene, a moment where Chen's character has to pretend to be angry but is actually testing his co-star's feelings. Perhaps because the scene itself contained a spoiled feel, Chen seemed to really enjoy the atmosphere. During rehearsals, the director had asked them to stare at each other a few seconds before starting the dialogue. And that's where I saw something interesting. Chen looked at Chen Zhe Yuan with a gentle but defiant smile, as if to say, "Come on, can you hold my gaze?" Chen Zhe Yuan, who was usually expressive yet professional, actually looked clumsy this time. He smiled a little, took his eyes off for a moment, then looked back. Everyone in the room could feel the chemistry between them. Even the director said, "Okay, don't be so real. You guys make me forget this is filming." The first scene went smoothly, but every time the director called out, "Cut." The atmosphere is getting colder. Chen teased Chen Zhe Yuan several times in a way that made him slightly misbehave. "Why do you look so nervous?" asked Chen after the second take. "Nervous? No," Chen Zhe Yuan replied, looking down with a smile. Chen looked at him sharply with an amused smile. "You're lying. If you're not nervous, why do you hold your breath every time I approach you?" All the crew who heard immediately laughed, while Chen Zhe Yuan shook his head while covering his face with the script. "You like to make fun of me." Chen looked at him in a spoiled manner. "It's not mockery, I just like to see you react that way." The atmosphere in the usually tense location turned into full of laughter. Even the lighting crew behind me whispered, "If they don't come after this drama, I don't know anymore." I can only laugh quietly and say yes in my heart. After lunch, the two of them sat side by side in a chair near the monitor. I purposely took some behind-the-scenes photos, and from the lens of my camera, I saw a very sweet little moment. Chen stared at the screen while paying attention to Chen Zhe Yuan's expression in the previous scene. "You see when you say, 'I won't let you go'? Your eyes light up my heart," he said softly. Chen Zhe Yuan turned his head slightly and looked at him. "Because the acting is good or because I'm talking about it?" he asked with a mischievous smile. Chen pretended to frown. "Both of them." They laughed together, and I could really feel the comfort between them. There is no far-fetched impression. The way Chen teased felt natural, and the way Chen Zhe Yuan responded was gentle and respectful. In between the afternoon filming break, Chen had time to sit in the garden holding a small fan. The wind blew slowly, and her hair was a little messy. Seeing that, Chen Zhe Yuan spontaneously approached. He raised his hand, fixed the strand of hair covering his face, and said, "If your hair continues like this, it will be difficult to get a close-up." Li Qin looked at him for a while, then smiled coquettishly. "Do you really care about the movie, or do you care about me?" I almost dropped the camera when I heard that phrase. Some of the crew held back laughter behind the scenes. But Chen Zhe Yuan remained calm, even though his cheeks turned red. He said in a low voice, "Maybe both." Li Qin smiled contentedly, then lowered his head slightly. "Good answer." After that, they continued filming until late at night. But the aura between them has not changed. Warm, soft, and sometimes interspersed with jokes that make everyone on the set feel comfortable. The director even had time to comment at the end of the day, "I'm glad that you two continue like this. The chemistry is great, even off camera." Li Qin turned to Chen Zhe Yuan with a smile. "See, I make the atmosphere alive." Chen Zhe Yuan only nodded slightly with an embarrassed smile. "Yes, you are indeed an expert at making the atmosphere change." When the lights of the set began to turn off and the crew began to pack, I still watched them from afar. Chen Zhe Yuan looked to help Li Qin retrieve his sizable bag. He held it without being asked. "Let me take it." "You've been working all day," he said softly. Li Qin smiled sweetly, then walked beside him saying quietly, "You are too kind. If I keep doing this, I may misunderstand." Chen Zhe Yuan laughed a little, but did not dismiss the remark. They walked side by side towards the production car, talking quietly, laughing occasionally. And I know, they may not realize how sweet the sight is for us who see. I closed the day's notes in my work journal with a fairly simple but honest sentence. Today, Li Qin looks flirtatious to Chen Zhe Yuan. But behind the flirtation, there is genuine warmth and comfort. They're not role-playing, they're enjoying each other's presence. And I'm sure, anyone who saw them that day would have felt the same. That among the laughter, jokes and fleeting glances caught on camera, there is something more than acting. There is mutual respect, there is subtle attention, and maybe there is a love that secretly grows between the two stars. Every time I play back a recording from that day, I always smile. Because behind the scenes of Fated Hearts, there's a small, unwritten story about a woman who looks flirtatious to her co-star, and a man who can't hide his smile whenever he's around her. And as a silent witness behind the camera, I can only say inwardly, maybe that's how love works. Quietly, gently, but noticeably, even before both realize it.